Have you ever pondered on the significance of acknowledging and honoring the truth? Welcome, dear listeners, to an enlightening journey through Romans chapter 1. We start with the Apostle Paul, a servant of Jesus Christ, called to be an apostle, set apart for the gospel of God. Paul, in his introduction, establishes his divine appointment to preach the good news. It is a testament to his unwavering faith and commitment to the mission of Christ. Following this, Paul speaks of a promise made long ago through his prophets in the Holy Scriptures. This promise is about God's Son, Jesus Christ our Lord. He was a descendant of David in terms of human nature, but through the Spirit of holiness, declared the Son of God in power by his resurrection from the dead. This explains the dual nature of Christ, both human and divine. Paul then says that through Christ, we received grace and apostleship to call all the Gentiles to the obedience that comes from faith for his name's sake. This verse signifies the universal call to salvation, which extends beyond the Jewish people to include all nations. The apostle goes on to express his longing to visit the Romans, to impart some spiritual gift, and mutually encourage each other's faith. He acknowledges the strength that comes from fellowship and the sharing of faith. In the middle of the chapter, Paul discusses the wrath of God being revealed from heaven against all godlessness and wickedness of people who suppress the truth by their wickedness. He emphasizes that God's invisible qualities have been clear since creation, leaving no excuse for ignorance. Paul warns that those who fail to honor God despite knowing him become futile in their thinking, and their foolish hearts get darkened. They exchange the glory of the immortal God for images made to look like mortal human beings, and birds and animals and reptiles. It is a stark warning against idolatry and the consequences of denying the true God. In the concluding verses, Paul describes how God gave them over to a depraved mind to do what ought not to be done. They have become filled with every kind of wickedness, evil, greed, and depravity. This is a dire consequence of turning away from God and the path of righteousness. So, what have we learned from Romans chapter 1? First, Paul's commitment to the gospel is a model for all believers. Second, the universal call to salvation reiterates God's boundless love for all humanity. Third, the importance of fellowship and sharing of faith in strengthening our spiritual journey. Fourth, the dangerous repercussions of denying God and indulging in idolatry. As we conclude, remember Romans chapter 1 is a powerful reminder to honor and acknowledge God in all we do, for turning away leads to a path of darkness and depravity. So in our lives, let the truth of God illuminate our path, guide our actions, and shape our world. Thank you for joining this enlightening journey. Until next time, keep pondering on the Word,